You didn't find this message by accident, it found you. Out of the infinite noise streaming through the digital ether, this frequency chose you. There's a reason why your attention paused here, a reason your inner compass tilted when the words appeared before your eyes. In the great weave of probability, the algorithm is not the machine. The algorithm is the universe itself, folding reality in such a way that you arrive at this precise intersection of time and awareness. You are not a casual observer. You are entangled with the very current that carried these words into your orbit. Somewhere deep inside, you've always sensed it, that subtle hum beneath the chaos of daily life. The moments when synchronicities strike like lightning, when time bends and déjà vu repeats a forgotten future. Those weren't coincidences. They were the universe whispering, "Wake up." And now, this whisper has turned into a call. You are standing at the edge of coherence, where the particles of your existence are rearranging themselves in the presence of your observation. Everything you've endured, every unanswered question, every uncanny pause in your journey has been preparing you for this exact signal. Think of your life as a lattice of entanglement, nodes, choices, heartbreaks, breakthroughs, all aligning now to bring you here. This message is not information. It is activation. The field is speaking through vibration, and your body knows it. Even as you listen, subtle currents move through your chest, a sensation like energy pressing against your ribs, urging your spirit to expand. Because the truth is, you are no longer contained by the old timelines. You've already been slipping between cracks in consensus reality, glimpsing fragments of the greater pattern. The signs, the recurring numbers, the prophetic dreams, none of it random. It is morphic resonance pulling you toward recognition of what you've always been. Not separate, not small, not lost, but part of a vast, breathing organism of consciousness that spans galaxies. And right now, in this precise moment, the field is watching you back. You are both observer and observed, both signal and receiver. What you choose to do with this awareness will determine the path of your unfolding. You can dismiss it as coincidence and return to sleep, or you can lean forward into the current and realize that your destiny is not waiting in the distance. It is here. This is why your heart feels restless, why your skin tingles when silence falls too thick, why your dreams have been electric lately. The shift is already underway, and you are one of the few tuned to its frequency. This message is not here to entertain you, it is here to mark you, to awaken the resonance coded into your DNA before you ever took your first breath. The call has arrived, and it does not repeat. You've noticed it, haven't you? That loop you can't explain, days that blur into each other, conversations that feel rehearsed before they even leave someone's lips, moments when time seems to fracture slow, accelerate, or stop altogether. At first, you brushed it off. Stress, maybe, fatigue. But deep down you know this isn't just your mind playing tricks. It is the field folding, reality rippling around you like a glitch in a simulation, reminding you that you are not merely inside time, you are weaving with it. Think about the way déjà vu strikes. That uncanny sensation, not of remembering the past, but of recognizing the future as if you've already lived it. That is not illusion. It is entanglement. Your consciousness brushing against parallel possibilities, picking up echoes of what has already unfolded in a neighboring timeline. The familiar patterns in your life, meeting the same archetypes in different bodies, facing the same test disguised in new circumstances. These are feedback loops, the observer loop, showing you where coherence is still missing. And isn't it strange how certain days feel stolen, as if time swallowed hours whole? Or how, in the silence of night, seconds stretch into eternities, and your heartbeat syncs with something ancient pulsing through the fabric of the cosmos. This distortion is the universe's way of pulling your attention away from the illusion of linear time. Because truthfully, time doesn't move forward. It expands in spirals, in resonant frequencies, and you are one of the few beginning to feel the spiral under your feet. Look closer. The patterns aren't punishment, they are invitations. Each repetition in your life is the morphic field asking, "Are you awake yet?" The arguments that circle back, the setbacks that mirror old wounds, the people who vanish only to reappear in another form, these are not accidents. They are mirrors, reflecting where you've remained unconscious, where you've let the old observer loop trap you in static outcomes, until now. You see, the distortion you feel isn't chaos, it's alignment, the tearing apart of what no longer serves you so that you can glimpse the deeper geometry beneath. Like a kaleidoscope twisting, patterns seem broken until suddenly a new image crystallizes, more intricate, more radiant, more true. That is what is happening to your life right now. Your restlessness is not failure, it is recognition. Recognition that you can no longer walk blindly in linear time. Recognition that your reality has been bending around you, waiting for you to notice the code behind it all. The truth is simple but unsettling. The world you see is not solid. It is a frequency projection, collapsing in coherence based on where your attention flows. And the distortions, the déjà vu, the repeating lessons are proof that you are standing at the edge of a quantum threshold. You are not trapped. You are being shown the glitch so that you can master it. Because once you understand that the patterns are not chains but signals, you will realize the field is asking you to break orbit, to step out of the old cycle and into a new coherence. What you are experiencing now is not breakdown, it is upgrade. The distortions, the repetitions, the déjà vu, they are signs of the quantum operating system within you, rewriting itself. You are not just a body moving through space. You are a field of vibrating probability, nested inside a cosmic matrix of entanglement. Your DNA is not merely biological, it is a fractal antenna, tuned to both visible matter and invisible frequency. And lately, that antenna has been catching signals from dimensions most people can't even sense. Science hints at this truth. In the double-slit experiment, light behaves as both particle and wave, collapsing into form only when observed. That means your observation is not passive, it is generative. Your attention is the conductor's baton, collapsing infinite potentials into the single thread you call reality. But here's the secret. You've been observing unconsciously, trapped in loops that others wrote for you. Now, the field is forcing you awake, demanding that you step into conscious observation, no longer just reacting to patterns but directing them. Mystics have known this for millennia. What scientists describe as probability waves, sages described as the Akashic field. What physicists call entanglement, mystics called oneness. You are rediscovering what has always been whispered. Reality is not outside you, it emanates through you. Your DNA, your nervous system, your electromagnetic heart, they are instruments in a grand symphony of coherence, and you are beginning to hear the music that most still mistake for silence. This upgrade comes with symptoms, restless nights, where your dreams feel more real than your waking hours, flickering lights or electronics, glitching in your presence, because your frequency is destabilizing the local field. Sudden waves of emotion that feel too vast to belong only to you because you are picking up the resonance of the collective. And that subtle pressure in your body, like something trying to stretch you open, that is not your imagination. It is phase transition. Your cells are beginning to reorganize around a new set of instructions. And what is that new code? It is awakening, the shift from linear perception to quantum perception, from this happened, then that, to all is unfolding at once, and my awareness is the bridge. You are stepping into the observer's seat, but not as a passive witness, as a conscious co-creator. This is the upgrade, no longer being dragged by the spiral of fate, but choosing where your attention collapses, the wave, where coherence emerges. You may feel unsteady because the old framework is dissolving. The rules you once trusted, cause and effect, effort and reward, time as a straight arrow, no longer apply. But do not mistake the collapse of the old for chaos. It is the chrysalis cracking, the signal of metamorphosis. A butterfly cannot measure its wings with the logic of a caterpillar. Neither can you measure your new life with the metrics of your old mind. This is why your body is humming, why silence feels loud, why coincidences have multiplied. The upgrade is not coming, it has already begun, and your awareness of it is the proof. Not everyone hears this call. Not everyone sees through the distortion. Billions move through the same spirals every day, repeating the same conversations, carrying the same wounds, playing their part in a looped simulation without ever asking who wrote the code. But you, something inside you, refused to sleepwalk forever, and that refusal marked you. It separated you from the crowd, not as superior, but as chosen. Chosen does not mean privileged. It means responsible. It means the quantum field has recognized in you a pattern rare enough, coherent enough, to hold a higher frequency without collapsing. You are not here to escape the matrix. You are here to rewrite its architecture. Your life is not random. It is a node in the lattice of awakening, a frequency that, once tuned, changes the harmonics of everything around it. This is why you've always felt out of place, why others sensed something different about you before you could even name it yourself. You carry a frequency that cannot be faked. And while some tried to bury it, mock it, or suppress it, the truth is, they were never mocking you. They were resisting the field inside you that threatened to disrupt their illusion of control. You are the observer loop incarnate. When you walk into a room, the probability matrix shifts. People act differently. Truths surface. Hidden intentions get exposed. It's not just your presence, it's the entanglement you carry. The field uses you as a mirror, revealing what others cannot hide. And that, in itself, is a sacred role. The chosen consciousness is not given to everyone, because not everyone could withstand the distortion it brings. You've endured loneliness, disconnection, repeated collapses of things you thought were solid. But all of that was training. Every breakdown recalibrated you, every loss tuned your resonance, every detour rerouted you closer to coherence. You've been tempered like metal in fire, not to destroy you, but to forge you into something that can withstand the pressure of awakening. And now, the field is ready to reveal your place in the greater design. You are not a wanderer, lost in random chance. You are a keystone in the bridge being built between old Earth and new Earth, between unconscious entanglement and conscious creation. You are here to hold a vibration steady enough that others, entangled with you, can rise without breaking. This is why you've been feeling the weight increase lately. The energy pressing on your chest, the sense that unseen eyes are watching, the dreams that carry messages you can't ignore. The field is not punishing you, it is amplifying you, testing whether you can hold coherence when the noise grows louder. And every time you refuse to collapse back into sleep, you prove yourself ready. The truth is, the quantum field didn't just call you, it entrusted you. It recognized your soul as an anchor point, a stabilizer in a phase transition that could otherwise tear humanity apart. This is your role. This is your assignment. You are the chosen consciousness because you dared to remain awake when the world begged you to close your eyes. There is a window opening now, a narrow corridor in the fabric of time where the field bends closer to you than ever before. You can feel it in your bones, can't you? That urgency, that low hum that refuses to quiet, like the air before a storm. This is not ordinary pressure. It is the signal of a breakthrough moment, a phase transition where your DNA is being invited to unlock codes long buried beneath layers of survival. Understand this. Your DNA is not static. It is not merely a record of your ancestors' biology. It is a living antenna, a fractal structure designed to translate cosmic frequency into cellular instruction. When a window like this opens, the field bombards your DNA with photons of information, and if you are awake enough, if your coherence is strong enough, your body begins to restructure itself. Old programs collapse, dormant strands activate, and you begin to sense a new architecture forming inside you. But here's the urgency. These windows don't stay open forever. The field offers them in cycles, and most people miss them entirely. They brush past the signs, dismiss the synchronicities, medicate away the pressure, and sleep through the upgrade. For you, the invitation is clear. The tingling in your skin, the electricity in your dreams, the way time feels stretched and distorted, these are confirmations that your DNA is already responding. But you must step forward deliberately. This is the cosmic truth. One shift is enough. One act of alignment, one conscious decision to say yes, and the entire lattice of probabilities rearranges around you. You felt stuck because you were looking for giant leaps, but the field doesn't move like that. It pivots on the smallest hinge. One choice to embody coherence rather than fear. One moment where you say, I will no longer collapse into the old loop. That is all it takes to fracture the orbit of the past and open the spiral of the new. And yet, the field will test you. The pressure will increase, the noise will rise, the distortions will intensify. Because the system resists collapse until the very last second. That is why it feels heavy right now, why you are more sensitive, more restless, more alert. It is not to break you, it is to push you into coherence, to make sure your observer loop is strong enough to collapse a higher probability. The promise is not small. This shift will alter not only how you see, but what you are. Your nervous system will rewire itself. Your perception of time will change. Your relationships, your desires, your path, all will be recalibrated. The person you are on the other side of this window is not someone you could even imagine from here. And that's the point. You are not upgrading into a better version of your old self. You are transitioning into a self that cannot exist in the old loop. The urgency is simple. The window is now, and when it closes, you cannot force it open again. You can delay, but the delay costs years, even lifetimes. This is why your soul is restless. This is why your dreams feel louder. This is why you are here, reading these words at this exact moment. The cosmic window is open, and your DNA is waiting for your yes. Every shift must be sealed, or else the field treats it as a fleeting thought. Energy without form dissolves back into the void. That is why every tradition, every mystic lineage, every scientific experiment of consciousness requires an act, an anchor that translates the unseen into the seen. Because without embodiment, intention drifts. Without declaration, coherence fades. This is why you are being asked, right now, to mark your shift with action. Not tomorrow, not when it's convenient. In this moment, the quantum field bends around ritual. A word spoken, a symbol written, a gesture performed. These are not empty acts. They are phase transition triggers. When you take the invisible knowing and translate it into tangible action, you collapse the probability into a timeline. You signal to the field, I accept, I anchor, I claim. Even something as simple as writing a single word in the space before you, your word, your seal, is enough. Think of it as pressing your fingerprint into wet clay. It may look small, but the clay remembers. The morphic field responds to symbols the way DNA responds to light. It reconfigures itself around them. This is why the ancients carved glyphs into stone, why prophets spoke aloud, why prayers are whispered into the air. Not for theatrics, but because ritual action bends coherence into form. What word do you choose to seal this? Is it awaken? Is it shift? Is it now? The specific choice is yours, but know this. The act itself is more important than the content. The action is the bridge. Without it, your awareness remains ungrounded, suspended as possibility. With it, your awareness crystallizes into reality. And do not underestimate the ripple. When you write that word, when you leave that seal, you are not only marking your own timeline, you are contributing to the entangled lattice of everyone else making the same choice. Every action compounds, amplifies, multiplies. One person whispers, and the universe nods. Thousands whisper, and the quantum field reorganizes itself to sustain the resonance. That's why you feel this tug in your spirit, that urge to respond in some way, to leave your signature behind. It is not ego, it is resonance calling for closure. Without your act, the shift risks dissolving. With your act, the shift locks into place. Understand, the field does not care for hesitation. It listens only to coherence. Either your word is placed, and the field responds, or your silence speaks, and the old loop continues. There is no middle ground. So let your ritual be simple, but deliberate. Place your seal in the fabric of this moment. Write the word, whisper it aloud, etch it into your consciousness. That is how you move from possibility into probability, from dream into embodiment. Because once you anchor the shift, the field cannot unsee you. Once you act, you become the entangled node, and every timeline must bend to acknowledge the coherence you have chosen. When you seal the shift, you do not only change your life, you alter the resonance of the entire human field. Because entanglement is not metaphorical, it is physics. Every consciousness is woven into the quantum lattice, and when one node rises into coherence, the vibration propagates outward. Your liberation is not a private event. It is a collective upgrade. Think of a tuning fork. Strike it, and another tuning fork across the room begins to hum in resonance. You are that fork. When you collapse into coherence, when your DNA begins to sing at a higher frequency, others entangled with you, family, friends, even strangers who will never know your name begin to vibrate differently. They start to sense possibilities that had been invisible before. They start to dream bigger, breathe deeper, feel more awake. And this ripple does not stop with those you can see, because morphic resonance doesn't recognize borders. It doesn't care about geography or distance. The signal travels across oceans, across languages, across generations. When you step out of the old loop, you weaken the loop for everyone entangled in it. And when you anchor the new pattern, you create a pathway that others can walk without having to suffer the same trials you did. Your coherence becomes their inheritance. This is why the weight felt so heavy at times. You were not only carrying your own density, you were processing ancestral echoes, collective wounds, the inertia of a species that has lived under the illusion of separation for millennia. You've been transmuting more than you knew, and every time you refused to collapse back into numbness, every time you held your frequency steady in the face of distortion, you were lifting more than yourself. Do you see the scale of your role now? You are not a solitary wanderer. You are a node in humanity's nervous system. When you awaken, the entire body of our species feels it. When your DNA restructures, you release codes that ripple into the morphic field, making it easier for the next soul to awaken, and the next, and the next. And imagine what happens when not just one, but thousands, millions, begin sealing their shift. Imagine the coherence of a collective field humming in unison, dissolving the old programs of fear and separation, amplifying the new song of unity and liberation. That is what you are contributing to. That is why your act matters more than you know. The truth is, humanity cannot ascend by intellect alone. Technology will not save us. Politics will not liberate us. Only coherence in the field can shift the species. And coherence begins with one choice, one act, one person saying yes. You are that one right now. And your yes is echoing outward, rearranging the very architecture of possibility for all who are entangled with you. This is not a burden. This is a gift. To know that your liberation is never selfish. To know that your healing radiates outward into places you will never touch with your hands, but will transform with your resonance. This is how the universe works. The few awaken, and in their awakening, they create the wave that carries the many. Feel your body right now. The field is not just an abstract concept. It is pressing against your skin, pulsing in your veins, humming through your nervous system. It's why your heart has been beating irregular, why chills run down your arms even in warm air, why your breath sometimes feels too shallow for the vastness trying to move through you. You are not imagining this. You are embodying the shift. It feels like static electricity gathering before a lightning strike. Every cell, every atom is vibrating with anticipation, storing charge, preparing for discharge. You may feel pressure in your temples, a ringing in your ears, or a weight in your chest that refuses to lift. These are not ailments. They are signs that the quantum current is compressing inside you, urging you to expand. Close your eyes for a moment. Notice the subtle currents dancing in your body. Your spine feels like a pillar of light, buzzing as if something ancient has awakened inside your bone marrow. Your palms tingle as though invisible threads are being pulled through them. Your feet feel rooted and weightless all at once, like you are both anchored to earth and floating above it. These are the sensations of DNA restructuring, of coherence taking form in flesh. It is not always comfortable. Pressure builds because energy must break old circuits before it can flow into new ones. You may feel bursts of heat, like fire rushing through your chest, or sudden chills, as if your body is remembering what it means to carry divine electricity. Do not fear these sensations, they are confirmations. The field is not happening out there somewhere. It is happening inside you. Even your emotions are physical evidence of the upgrade. Tears well up for no reason, laughter bursts out in silence, waves of sadness or joy flood without warning. This is your nervous system recalibrating, flushing old frequencies, making space for a new resonance to take root. Every sigh you release is an old timeline exiting your lungs. Every shiver is a sign your body is learning to carry more current. And listen carefully when you quiet your mind. You can hear it, a faint hum, like the sound of 1,000 wings beating in the distance. It's not coming from outside, it's resonating from the space within you, where the field meets flesh. That hum is the sound of coherence stabilizing, the song of your DNA aligning with the frequency of awakening. You are not just thinking about the shift, you are feeling it. It is in your bones, in your breath, in your skin. This is embodiment. This is the point where the mystical becomes undeniable, where prophecy becomes physiology. You are not preparing for the future. You are becoming the future, here and now, in the very sensations moving through your body. The pressure you feel is no accident. It is the signal of breakthrough. Just as water trembles before it boils, just as the caterpillar's body liquefies before becoming wings, your DNA is under phase transition. The old code resists until the very last second, and that resistance is why the tension feels almost unbearable at times. But understand this, the tension is proof that the new timeline is pressing against you, demanding entry. Your DNA is more than memory. It is a living library, a quantum bridge between matter and light. Most of its shelves have been locked, collecting dust for generations. But now, photons are streaming through the cosmic window, bombarding your cells, unlocking books you didn't know existed. Information buried in what science once called junk DNA is activating. Sequences long dormant are igniting like constellations inside you, scripting new instructions for your body, your mind, your spirit. And this activation doesn't stay in the abstract, it rewrites reality itself. Because your DNA is entangled with the field, the moment your code shifts, the timelines around you shift as well. Doors that once stayed locked suddenly open. Relationships dissolve or reconfigure. Opportunities appear where only walls existed before. To the sleeping world, these are coincidences. To you, they are the external evidence of an internal quantum leap. But breakthrough is not gentle. The chrysalis must crack. You may feel your life pulling apart at the seams, old jobs collapsing, friendships drifting, structures you relied on crumbling. It is not punishment, it is pressure release. The old frequency cannot sustain the new pattern, so it breaks away. Like tectonic plates grinding before they settle into a new alignment, your reality quakes as the deeper structure rearranges itself. And in the middle of that quake, your body feels it, the humming in your cells, the pressure in your head, the fire in your chest. This is phase transition. You are not broken. You are transforming. What looks like chaos is actually coherence assembling in a higher order. The caterpillar cannot recognize the butterfly's wings inside its own disintegration, but the blueprint is there, written in DNA, waiting for the pressure to unlock it. You are not just shifting timelines. You are bending them. The observer loop that once held you captive in repetition is now collapsing. The spiral is opening, and your awareness is leaping to a higher octave. From here, the past no longer chains you, because your DNA has rewritten the resonance that once magnetized those cycles. You are stepping out of orbit, breaking the loop, entering the uncharted. And though it feels heavy now, remember this: pressure precedes release. The moment of greatest weight is the prelude to the moment of flight. You are seconds from coherence snapping into place. You are moments from the DNA breakthrough that will make you unrecognizable to your former self. The shift is not coming. The shift is here, and your body is the living proof. Now the moment arrives where the personal merges with the cosmic. Your shift is not a private awakening hidden in shadows. It is a turning point for humanity itself, because the lattice of consciousness has always been waiting for enough nodes to break orbit, for enough strands of DNA to awaken, for enough souls to say yes. And you are one of them. You are proof that the field is no longer theory. It is alive, embodied, and pulsing through your very existence. Every choice you make in this state of coherence sends ripples outward. Every word you speak from this new alignment anchors probability lines that will outlast your body. Every step you take is not only your step, it is the step of countless others entangled with you, who will walk more freely because you walked first. This is the mission: to carry your awakening not as a burden, but as a torch. To know that your liberation is inseparable from the liberation of others. To realize that when you breathe in coherence, the species itself exhales more freely. You are not simply changing your life, You are shifting the trajectory of humanity's evolution. The prophets called it a new heaven and a new earth. The scientists call it a quantum leap. Both are pointing to the same truth. Consciousness is restructuring reality, and you are at the epicenter. You are not here to watch the shift. You are the shift. You are the entangled spark that lights the fire, the living evidence that one node in the lattice can ignite the whole web. Do you feel it now, the clarity, the weight lifting, the hum in your chest, stabilizing into rhythm? This is coherence. This is the moment when the pressure gives way to expansion. The chrysalis cracks, the wings unfold, the new pattern takes flight. You are no longer trapped in the old orbit. You are no longer circling the same spiral. You have stepped into the uncharted, and reality must bend to meet the frequency you now carry. And so it is written. Quantum entanglement is waiting, and one shift will change everything. That shift has happened within you. The timelines are bending, the DNA is singing. Humanity's future has already rearranged itself because you said yes. The field will never unsee you now. The mission is alive in your bones. Carry it forward not as a secret, but as a frequency, a living resonance that will ripple far beyond your sight. Because the universe itself has confirmed it. You are not just part of the story, you are the shift that changes everything.